Howdy, howdy, everybody. My name is the Cid. Still can't get rid of me. But today we have a Soulblazer Rando. We did have something else planned that we wanted to do with this as well, an Out of Bounds mod for this game, which would have been kind of cool. Unfortunately, some other things came along, and we'll actually have another stream after this, but we will be holding that for another stream. But we did make sure that we had enough time for this nice Soulblazer Rando race with my guest,
DentedRazor,
and TheAxeMan,
as well as my co-commentator.
It's me, Netara. Hello.
So, since we had a little bit of technical difficulties, we'll get right into this and get everything going. And I'll count you guys in unless you have something you want to say before we start.
good luck, Axeman.
Yeah, GL, have fun.
Right, all right. So we'll count you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Yeah. Well, like I mentioned before, there was a... DentedRazor had showed us some really cool out of bounds just in our casual channel of the game. I think it's a modded version of the game, but I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Let's showcase this. But we did also schedule this as well, which if I'm a bit familiar with Rando or Vanilla, which luckily my counterpart Netara is not familiar with Vanilla, but is familiar with the Rando.
I'm familiar with Vanilla. I've just never finished Vanilla. I have, however, finished numerous of the Rando seeds. Both there's two different randomizers. So they're the one they're playing today is actually the Archipelago randomizer. They're running the same seed, though, so they just created the seed in Archipelago using that randomization, and now they're racing it. And there are some differences between the randos, but just so everyone's aware of what we're doing. So the settings they've got in this one, they are...
Hello, hello, hello.
You thought you got rid of us, and you were wrong.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of technical difficulties. Our restreamer's internet got... Everhated. Like, once again, good luck and or blame Everhate, and we are blaming Everhate,
yeah, it knew we were playing Soulblazer today and went, not on my watch. And we're saying, no, we've got to. Ooh, recovery sword. Okay, so we got some swords. So it doesn't look like we've picked up much in the way of progression items, but we do have better swords. So what I'm going to point out quickly, I don't know where I cut off last time. One of the things in Vanilla is that you need to be a certain level in order to use the swords that you're picking up. So, if you don't, you can equip them, but you can't swing them. So, which is definitely rough. So, instead, you can just poke it out and you can poke things with your sword, which is half effective, I believe, but can be a pain in the butt. But using a really good sword only kind of pointed out is still better than using a bad sword swinging. So you're definitely going to see a lot of that happening until folks get appropriate levels to use the swords they're picking up.
Yeah, poking with the sword is a very nice portion of the game that puts you in a spot where, like, it also slows down your movement a little bit, so you have a little bit better control of Mr. Soul DentedRazor.
Yeah, and there is also a setting for anyone who's like, hey, I'm new to this, that seems more complicated than I want to deal with. There is a setting that you can set. I believe it's something to do with your equipment stats and that progression, which are just, any sword you get is the same level. It's just basically the extra bonus ability of the sword is all that's different on a sword, so you can just always swing your sword. So that definitely makes it easier if you're just like, no, I need to be able to use my sword at all times. Just put that on. It's totally fine. We have random rocks, as in we don't know our stone requirement to get to the final boss death toll. Usually it's 6 stones they have to collect, 3 red hot items, and dancing grandmas are the big key progression items. All the rest is still going to be required, but we don't know how many stones they need. They could hop over to the Dark World and check it out, but that's a time loss at this point. So they're just not gonna, because they don't have any stones yet. Someone else is questioned and does not know the dancing grandmas, y'all. This is Soul Blazer. If you don't know dancing grandmas, you stick around and you're gonna. They are a go mode requirement. You cannot finish a seed without dancing grandmas. So you stick around, you'll see them.
This game has a ton of personality,
It really
even
does.
for that's like the way that it plays out. A lot of the story and the characters is very, very memorable. That's part of the reason why I've beaten it quite a few times, honestly.
Oh, okay. Now that's a really amazing pickup by Axeman. He just picked up the Magic Phoenix, which is actually another go mode required spell. It is required to fight the final boss. So getting Phoenix already is just really excellent.
Yeah, it just sets our requirements to final boss access and final gear.
Yeah. And again, we have final world access, but we don't get final boss access without dancing grandmas. We can't use Phoenix without the red hot items.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some small requirements here and there, but as somebody with vanilla, the game is very structured in such a way where as you're passing through it vanilla, you pretty much get upgraded gear as you go through. Yep. The really only thing that forces you to go back is a couple of those red hot items, as well as some enemies are straight up invincible without specific weapons. So you end up having to go back to close those teleporters and get access to some of the endgame areas.
Yes, for anyone who's not familiar with Soul Blazer at all, there's a lot of teleporters. I forget their official name, but basically, the enemy has come and has trapped away all of the inhabitants of these worlds, so the worlds are empty. So you are a messenger, assistant from God or whomever, and you're going around killing enough monsters to unlock these, and for everyone you unlock, you either unlock part of the zone or one of the trapped townspeople, which, depending on the world, depends on what they are. So in Randomizer, though, that randomizes a lot of things. And those townspeople that you're saving, and sometimes household items, they give you either extra progression in a world, or they give you certain items. So the whole goal is going to be running around doing those. One of the swords that Sid mentioned, blanking on the actual name, but it gives you the ability to unlock... to fight the metal enemies, like those little scorpion folks that are coming through. They're metal. Right now, they cannot hurt them even a little.
Yeah, I want to say it's like the Zen Tetsuken or something like that.
It's,
I don't know. It's been like 10 years since I played this game. Why is that stuck in my head?
Because it is really distinct. It's one of those names, as soon as I see it, I'll know it. There's also the Spirit Sword, which allows you to kill spirit enemies. It's Zantetsu. There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks, chat. Which would be the Zantetsu Ken, because Ken in Japanese is sword, so...
Yeah, and I think the spirit enemies is the mid to late game equivalent with a different one.
Yeah.
But the name does escape me. It's still...
It's the Spirit Sword.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. It is the Spirit Sword.
Yeah.
The name is on the tin.
that one, they gave it basic. They're like, yeah, no. It tells you.
So one of the neat things, too, with like holding out your sword is these yellow things that we're watching drop all over the place are actually gems. Those mainly are used to cast spells so that we can actually do some extra damage. But the cool thing is if you're holding your sword out and you're on the same plane as the gems, you can actually suck them up. And we're going to need some of those bare minimum for those Phoenix attacks later. There are plenty of good spells, but most of them end up making way to sword murder faster. Unfortunately.
And we like that. We're a huge fan. So as you see, every time they step on, or many of the times they step on one of these, one of the portals, they kind of warp. You see them go to the world, and it shows what got unlocked. And sometimes it's unlocking houses. Like on Axeman's side, he just unlocked the Watermills house, which is incredibly important. There is in the dungeon that's World 1. You're locked by a certain device. There's an elevator you need, and the mill keeper has a device in his house, which once you unlock it, you can use that to get further access.
I love that you have to go into the watermill vanilla and like crank it yourself because he's cranking it backwards.
Oh, is that what he's doing? Because he just
Yes!
says, "This is too tough. I can't do it. Can you do it for me?" And then you just do it, and he goes, "Wow, thanks."
Yeah, I think the vanilla explanation is he was doing it the wrong
Amazing.
direction.
It's your mill, bud.
Yes,
What?
that's what makes it so funny.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
The game
Now-
is so funny.
It is so funny. So it's interesting how divided their paths are already, because that's not always the case with Soul Blazer. Sometimes, depending on what you got, you're really limited. Now, Razor is in the ice world, and you're seeing he's sliding around on very specific paths until he gets the mushroom shoes item, which allows him to walk around on ice. He can only slide, so he basically has to do slide puzzles for limited progression. You're going to see them also getting infinite herbs, medical herbs. They can only hold one at a time, and it's used if you have it equipped, when your HP runs out, it will automatically regenerate you back to full or mostly full. It'll give you a lot of HP. But you're going to see a billion of them. So you're going to be like, time for a cool item? No, it's another medical herb.
Yeah, medical herbs are one of those things where it's like you're happy when you have it, but because you have so many good accessories in this game, the medical herbs, you have to be very prudent about it and throw it on at the right time, because you have damage reduction, attack and increase, or in some cases you need certain accessories equipped to actually make things function.
Absolutely.
It's so I'm still not used to it. It's pretty disorienting going from like the tropics to Turbo's grave, and you're like, wait, what?
What?
that's not vanilla.
Yeah, because usually the things it's unlocking is in the same zone you're in, but this is a randomizer, baby. It's something else. The strange bottles are the same equivalent as the medical herb, except rather than replenishing your gems, when you die, you lose all your gems. So if you have a strange bottle equipped when you die, it allows you to retain those gems. We will not be using those.
Yeah. It was an interesting idea, but even casually, it can be. You have to put yourself in a position where you're fairly overwhelmed, or refusing to equip modern armor to really die for the most part,
or have the wherewithal to equip a strange bottle rather than a medical herb.
Yeah.
Before you die.
Once your medical herb is gone, you're just like, oh well, it's ogre. Oh no,
Yeah,
you're
also seeing on Razor's side, because Spirit Sword, nice. Some of the things which are being unlocked, they needed something else unlocked first to make the actual area in that zone be available. So you're just seeing things saying can't be recalled yet. So it means once you recall the person or item which unlocks that particular part of the zone, they'll all be there waiting for you. But just because you unlocked it doesn't mean it's actually available.
Yeah, that's a bit of a quirk to it. And I mean, obviously in vanilla, you very, very rarely run into that circumstance.
Yeah.
Unless you are purposely sequence breaking. But the game teaches you, for the most part, you're going to want to clear every sort of teleporter.
Yeah.
But not all of them are necessary, as we're seeing. Sometimes they drop chests that give you some item. And sometimes the chests just have things in them.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's not always a actual spawned in spirit, but sometimes it can be a progression item as well, because like I was mentioning earlier, some of the accessories actually gate progression as well, because you need to do a small trade quest.
Yeah. Absolutely. And some of these things that are getting unlocked, completely useless. Even in vanilla, they're useless. Some of them are just useless in Rando, but almost like many of them are just someone who's like, hi, you saved me, thanks. And you're like,
Neat.
Okay, but could you help me a bit? And they're like, no.
Yeah. Even in vanilla, it's kind of hard to tell. You're just like, oh, cool, I saved a person. Then you're like, you go talk to them and they're like, that's neat that you saved me.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like in World 1, there's 3 or 4 different goats you unlock, but only one of them is useful.
Oh.
All the rest of them are just like, hi, I'm a goat. You're like,
Yeah.
Hey, bud, thanks. You're doing great.
And then I think like one of them gives you a paintbrush and you're just like, why? How? What? The vanilla logic of this game is questionable.
Checking stones. So, we need all 6 stones. So Dented just went to the World of Evil to see how many stones we needed to get in. and it's 6. So we need the 6 stones to get in, but we need our go mode items to be able to actually get to and damage the final boss.
It's vanilla! Yay!
Yay! So yeah, we're doing vanilla requirements. We've got World 6 going on for DentedRazor, which is Madrid. Castle Madrid, which is where the King Madrid lives. Each of these worlds has like a leader who traditionally would give you the stone when you complete things. So there's a platinum card there. There's 2 towers, one on each side. The one on the left requires the platinum card to get into. The one on the right requires the VIP card. And each of these areas has a bunch of items. I think it's the left one here that leads you up to Dr. Leo? Or is it the other side? I seem to recall.
It's hard for me to remember since they kind of funnel you thinking. I think it is right first, left second.
Yeah, that's my thought. So
yeah, because this room is looking pretty devious. So
yep.
Yeah, we might be right on that one.
Yeah. Oh, well, I know one of the things you're supposed to have for this world is there's different souls we're picking up, and one of them is called the Soul of Detection, and that lets you see invisible things, hidden things. So there's a lot of invisible or just things that are not what they perceive to be in this world. So I know that's a problem in some of the towers. I think you can still go through them without, but you have to know that they're there.
You see Axeman here is trying to adjust the little projectile that's floating around him to actually cast the flame magic on it, just while he's walking forward to change the orbit a little bit. Like I said, some of the magic is very strong, but you have to know exactly what it does to make full use of it. Ooh, red hot ball. Yeah. Let's go.
Love it.
But yeah, the magic can be very powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, we need the 3 red hot items in order to get to the final boss. Yeah, so you see how Axeman's walking through the walls there? It's because there's no wall, but unless you know or have the Soul of Detection, you have no idea. And it looks like you can still press on that on the they're layers. Layers are what they're called. I just remembered.
Yep.
They'll look like they still need to be pressed even when they've been done already, because again they're lying to you.
Yeah, it is an interesting choice that they made it so it's like, no, this is just an invisible walkway rather than having to have the soul on. It does make your life a lot easier on return playthroughs.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, I can just face check the wall. There we go, found it. Easy peasy.
Yeah, easy. I hate these chess pieces. They're so annoying.
A lot of these enemies can chew through your HP really quick. Fortunately, you get a full refill when you actually kill the enemies and level up. But you have to either time that well or play very carefully until it happens. Fortunately, Razor was being a little bit more aggressive. You do die quickly enough in this game, though, that sometimes it's just easier to death warp out and forego your gems.
Yeah, some of the layers as well will give you gems and or health refills, but especially with Randomizer, you just have no idea which.
Yeah.
You just press all of them and hope.
We're checking everything. Something should be good eventually.
Yep. You check everything until you have what you need, and there's just so many items required for go mode. You've just got to keep going. Rotator is a spell. I don't recall it being a good one, but the spells in Soul Blazer, like Sid was saying, are either very good or generally pretty bad.
Extremely hot, cold, yeah. There's some you'll see, and then other ones you'll be like, what does that do? I don't know. And that'll be a runner tell you, I don't know. I haven't used it in decades.
Yeah, I don't use that. Why would I use that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good that they both got the spirit swords. Those ghosts that Razor is fighting, they're spirits, so you actually can't hurt them without the spirit sword. Yeah, and the movement he's doing is very Soul Blazer movement. Just I'm just gonna creep and keep poking you, but not get hit.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, the extended sword is usually one of your better offensive options. Yeah. Because it lets you focus completely on movement. And like I said, it does slow you down a bit. So lets you have more finite control of how fast and slow at side to side you're going to move, rather than just moving at full speed. Sometimes slowing down is the best choice.
Absolutely. What, going slow in a speedrun? I don't understand.
Yeah, no, it seems so against our nature, but sometimes slow and steady does win the race. So.
Absolutely. So what's interesting about the little area that Razor just unlocked, that is the dwarves area, their mountain. And you would think there's a king of the mountain there, and you'd think he's the one who gives you who's important there, but no, he's not. There's a snail that we just unlocked in the jail named Gnome, who is actually the important one.
Yeah, that's where all these souls that we were unlocking earlier that just wouldn't spawn in until we unlocked the jail. That's usually the place you'll see it the most, because that has such a critical mass of checks where it's like, wait a minute.
I will say the great thing about some of these later areas is just they're getting some real good experience. So, oh yeah, I can swing some of those swords now. Squirrel could not yet be recalled. No, my squirrel.
Yeah, this game is very one sword, one armor, one spell per world. Yeah. So seeing us kind of jump around is a bit interesting, but as a consequence of kind of the fixed level curve and upgrade curve, sometimes you grab them late game swords and you're like, cool, I've got the last weapon, but I also can't use it for the next 35 minutes. Oopsie.
Yeah. Yeah, each of these zones as well, some of the things you unlock are different warps. So, like, you come in, and there's usually one warp, and it takes you to a set place. But different areas in the zone will actually unlock for you. And it makes it a little easier, a little safer, because the only way to save is to talk to the guy when you come into the world.
Well, that was a really neat thing that Razor did just a little bit ago, where I was mentioning how AxeMan was just kind of running into the wall to displace the orb that actually casts spells. DentedRazor was using his slashes to hold himself in place and push the soul off kilter as well. Never really considered doing that casually. I'll have to start using that. That seems like a really good idea.
I always love it when you do things in Rando and you're like, oh, but what if I did this in vanilla?
Yeah.
It's things you wouldn't even think about until you had, Rando, and then you're just like, oh, but actually, now that we're talking about it.
Oh, I love the corner case interactions that come from randomizers that end up being implemented in speedruns. And even if they're not,
they're just cool to know.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to note here, it looks like, I think only AxeMan got the watermill keeper, because Razor went back to World 1 and crossed the bridge, but I didn't see the house there. So he just checked a couple things and moved on. So again, it might not be required, but that watermill keeper is one of the things you need in order to, progress in the dungeon there.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of the areas are, like I've mentioned, the levels and the weapons are very gated, but even the progression of each and every area is really kind of intended for you to go through a smaller dungeon, unlock a few things, then that usually unlocks a secondary or tertiary dungeon, and then you unlock more. The game's very, very linear in a way, and seeing the Rando actually applied to this is really interesting, considering that linearity and unbottling it into a feasible method is very interesting.
Yeah, and I will note that while I mentioned that Razor didn't have a couple of things that AxeMan has, Razor has a couple of things that AxeMan doesn't have, such as those leaders of the world. He's got the queen for the third world, the underwater, and he's got Gnome unlocked. So that's definitely really interesting. And again, like with most and all randomizer races, it ain't over till it's over.
Yeah. It's going to come down to whether those characters actually end up being impactful. Exactly. Or those progression points, and if our runners are keeping track of the things that they have passed up on. Since this is a fairly early randomizer, I don't know if there is a specific strategy formulated just yet that kind of dictates the normal path outside of individual preferences.
I think, yeah, I don't know, because where things tend to be a little more gated, like it's one of the less open randomizers from my experience playing it anyways. So it tends to be a lot more of a, I go where I can go.
Yeah.
And then you kind of finish that out. But in terms of priority, yeah, I couldn't tell you for sure.
Randomizers,
there
this
we
kind of thing is I find is one of the coolest parts is the early phase of forming a pattern and a method.
Mhm.
A lot of these fire blocks actually usually do a lot of damage, which is why there's these little offshoots. But since our HP is so high, we can just phase tank through it. Luckily,
Well, I
'Cause
think
normally-
we have, yeah. I was gonna say we could have had one of the armors, but I think they also just know the timings so well as well. So they're
Yeah.
just like, no, I don't need to be there then, because
I think
even though it's showing red, it's still not active.
I want to say you're normally like in the low 10s here, so we have quite a bit of HP, and I'm not sure if the armor actually affects the damage or not, but normally you're on like the level 3 ice armor here to prevent that, and I think they have like the spirit armor, which is the equivalent mid-game like armor 8 or something like that, so it's very high defense.
Nice.
Otherwise, it would be doing like, I want to say upwards of 6 or 7 ticks each time it hit you.
absolutely. That's painful.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in this game that are very inhospitable. It really makes you work for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, Soul Blazer's kind of mean that way. It's one of those games where you're like, oh, this game is mean. Okay, I think I like that, but...
Yeah.
So Axeman just got the Soul Blade. So when we were talking
Ooh.
about required Go mode items, you need there's a sword and armor and a magic you need that you must take to do the final dungeon. The Soul Blade, the Soul Armor, and Phoenix. So he has the Soul Blade and he has Phoenix. So that is really good Go mode progression. Again, there's still a lot of things left. They gotta get all 3 red hot items. They need to get both Dancing Grandmas. They need to unlock the area that contains Dancing Grandmas. They have to get all 6 stones.
Yeah.
I don't think they have any stones yet. No, they don't.
Yeah,
So,
I've been seeing a bunch of emblems, but no stones yet.
no. And emblems, I think, what is it they unlock in the main game?
I want to say they do unlock some spells throughout the course of the game.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly, but if that's the case, then it would just turn into an additional check, depending on if you have the character spawn to give the emblems.
Yeah, absolutely.
The game has some very obscure progression routes that are very easy to forget over the years.
Okay,
You sit me down, you give me a copy of the game, I'll remember which direction to go. But if I'm not playing, sometimes my brain just goes, shrug.
Well, I'm the opposite. I'm like, half the time I don't know where to go, but if I get a thing, I'm like, oh, I think I know what I do with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so DentedRazor got the Watermill Keeper, finished what he was doing there, and now he's gonna go up that elevator, which is now unlocked, and continue on in Dungeon 1. Yeah, it looks like DeAxeMan is grinding experience, which is honestly a great idea. These things, they take, they give a lot of experience, and I think that's because he's got the Soul Blade. He can, I think you can
Just
kill anything with the
him.
Soul Blade. Yeah.
I'd never even considered this. I didn't even know you could kill these, honestly.
Yeah, I knew you could kill these, but I think they're considered a metal item, so you'd need at least the Zantetsu sword.
Yeah, so I don't know what our max level is off of memory. I want to say it gets into the 50s. But the funny thing is the player bar here will just keep changing colors.
Yeah.
So it'll go from the blue to light blue to like a green, and I want to say it goes into like an orange or a purple.
Yeah.
But I think the green is the furthest I've ever grinded, like a light green into a dark green.
Yeah, for sure. DentedRazor did just get Marie, which is the
progression
boss,
in Darker Leos.
the leader for the Leo's lab area.
Yeah, because each one of the areas kind of has the final key that you're supposed to talk to, which unlocks the next area, and it kind of progresses as that.
Yeah.
Yep. But since we have the stones are basically loose rather than based on that. No, it's only 8. You're right. There is 8 worlds, so 6 out of 8's close.
Yeah.
Could be a lot less, but still pretty good. gives us some amount of variety. So as long as they find 6, even though they're on different paths, the only important part is the soul items.
Yeah.
And the red hots. As long as they both hit those same checks, we're pretty good to go. This game just, it flows so fluidly. Like, I was like, yeah, 6, that's definitely the right amount.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, and it's great.
Who hired this guy?
The stones are by color because they're different color stones. The emblems are they're listed as letters A through F, G, but they actually have symbols of the planets on them, which can be confusing when you're doing tracking. You're like, I got emblem F. Which one is emblem F? Wow, absolutely murdering things here in
Oh, that's what it is. If you trade in a vanilla, if you trade in all the emblems, you get a magic bell, which lets you cast spells without using gems.
That's how you get the magic bell. Yeah, I know
Thank
the
you,
items,
Google.
just not where you get them in vanilla.
Yeah. It's been a while. I was like, I know these emblems are good for some reason, but I can't remember why. It definitely makes it so that gems are even less useful, because then you don't have to worry about having enough for the Phoenix on the final boss.
Yeah.
Because if you are fighting the final boss without the bell, which is, possible, in a vanilla run, maybe you won't do it.
Speaking of the magic bell.
hey.
Razor just got it.
How magical. What an opportunity.
Love that.
That'll be very good, too, because now we have access to a lot of very powerful stuff. But like I said before, we have to be mindful, because now the magic bell would be our accessory. So if we are in risk of dying, we have to decide whether or not we want to burn that magic herb. Which, I mean, obviously, we're getting him left, right, and center, so herbs are not going to be too hard to find. But it is a choice that we have to be aware of. Because magic bell makes our lives a lot easier, but it also can put us at the risk of dying.
Yeah. Absolutely love DentedRazor. Has all of the world leaders except for King Madrid getting a magical herb from the tree in World 2. Thanks, bud.
Yeah, I think all the emblems have to be traded in, and I want to say the mountain where the dancing grandmas will show up, and the game tracks them themselves, so it's not like you have to go some long trade quest where it's like A goes into B, goes into G.
Yeah. So should you play vanilla before diving into Rando? That's a great question. I had only played World 1 of vanilla, and at first I hated it. And then a friend just wanted to play Rando, and I was like, I just want to hang with my friend. Sure, I'll play Soul Blazer Rando. What the heck? And so I kind of learned as I went. It helps to have played at least some of the vanilla to kind of understand some of the base mechanics, because the Rando certainly doesn't teach you those. But otherwise, again, I haven't finished vanilla, and I've played a bunch of Rando. Also, if you don't have your music on right now, you should get it on. Both of our runners are in Leo's lab, which is completely non-biasedly the best music in the game. You can see Axeman kind of bopping there because it is great. And Razor is just heading down there.
I personally, playing it vanilla several times, it's not a very long playthrough. You probably finish it in 1 to 2 sittings if you're really pushing it. Maybe 10 hours, I think, most investment-wise.
I just found it very challenging. It is not a game that is easy. Then again, that's pretty, it's pretty difficulty level matched for the era.
Yeah, I would say against like modern games, this game's pretty simplistic. You will get cheesed by death sometimes because enemies will move in a way you're not familiar with. But once you learn them, most enemies become very easy to deal with.
Or certainly a lot easier, yeah.
Yeah, once you learn their movement pattern, like right here on Axeman's side where we have the slinkies jumping over, like that'll catch you and easily kill you in vanilla. But when you know they'll jump over like that, you can be like, all right, well, I just need to keep moving so I don't get jumped on.
Absolutely. And there's good trackers as well, which do help with, randomizers and such. So can you play this without playing vanilla? Absolutely. I basically did. It made me like vanilla more, though, and that's why I went to actually try and finish vanilla. I didn't because me, but
Yeah.
it's good. So yeah, you don't need to play vanilla. Vanilla will make it make a little more sense though. To be like, oh cool, I got this. What does this do? You'll be like, okay, I got this old lady. Great. That's a dancing grandma. You got that's important. You just don't know.
There is a lot of cute interactions that you'll experience through the vanilla playthrough.
Absolutely.
So, like, if you have the time to sit down, like, a lot of the translations and some of the things that are added are kind of cute and witty. But I would suggest playing both, honestly.
Me too.
Watching this, I kind of want to play randos now, and I got to be careful because I can get sucked into those real hard.
We're about to re-roll a monthly. Anyways.
Every time I see that, I'm like, oh, I have things to do.
But it's just one seed, Sid. It's just one Soul Blazer seed. Oh, Leo's brush. Okay, that's a useful item. Once.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The other thing too, I guess, like the niceness of vanilla is you know what X item does what, rather than being like, cool, I got a brush. Now what do I do with it? Then you wander around the 8 worlds.
Trackers will tell you. That's where a tracker comes in hand. Like Pop Tracker is really great for the, especially the Archipelago version. And that's what I definitely relied on at first. It's like, okay, now where do I go? Where does this take me? So like, yeah. It's pretty great. Yeah, and I can definitely help you with that, Leggy. That's, I'm probably gonna do the same, honestly. Now I'm also like, I want to play some Soul Blazer, especially now that I've figured out how to do it, so I don't have to swing my sword.
As we speak, you're rolling a seed in the background. Forget the stream. I'm rolling a seed.
That's it with Soul Blazer. You've convinced me. Have fun, Sid. No.
And I'm just glad that we can bring some cool stuff to the random encounters and show people some games that they really haven't interacted with. It's very fun to be able to see chat interact with it. Be like, wait a minute, this is a game that I can play for fun?
Yeah, right? Also, something I want to note is even though Razor unlocked one of the layers before defeating the other, he didn't step on it right away, because if it's a layer that kind of takes you out of the window you're in, as it were, it will reset anything you haven't completed. So if you've already killed some of the enemy for the other layer, don't touch an unlocked layer until you've finished unlocking the next one, because you just reset it and then you'll be sad.
Yeah, that is like a beginner's mistake that the game kind of punishes you with and doesn't really explain. Because the first area it throws you in, there's just the one, and it's like, hey, kill the enemies to kill the lair, but it never really specifies that the enemies get respawned if you move to another one.
Yep.
It can be useful for cheesing some extra EXP, but
absolutely,
it can catch you unaware pretty easily.
When you're like, oh gosh, I barely defeated, this is almost done, I'm barely winning, and then you step on the other layer and it gets reset, and you're like, well, I guess I'm walking all the way back.
I mean, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, chat already beat me to it. I was going to say ActRazor is actually made by Quintet, the same developer. This team actually made ActRazor 1, 2, Soul Blazer. There's the unreleased, or at least untranslated in an official format of TerraNigma.
Yep.
And there was a game prior to this one that escapes me at the moment.
Because it's ActRazor 1, ActRazor 2, Soul Blazer, TerraNigma, Illusion of Gaia.
That's what it was. Illusion of Gaia is the one I forgot.
I may not have said them in the right order. I'm pretty sure TerraNigma is probably the last one.
Yeah, the TerraNigma was the last one. Unfortunately, never made it over. But there is a fan translation, so it is playable. And that's the Soul Blazer, Illusion of Gaia, and TerraNigma are referred to as kind of the Quintet trilogy, because they're all kind of very similar in gameplay style.
Yeah. ActRazor is definitely different than these games.
Yeah, ActRazor, get your PJs out. I don't know what to tell you, man. If you want to get brutalized by a game, ActRazor will do it.
Yeah.
And we got Dented pulling up that herb that I was talking about earlier. Get that refill, because we definitely want to clear this area out and not have to walk all the way back.
Yeah, this is one of those areas. Some areas you're like, oh no, I died, who cares? But some of them you're like, I just walked all that way, and you're going to tell me I have to walk back. So Razor getting the mermaid tears, those are good for the for the underwater area because there's an above area which has a volcano, and the mermaid's tears will soothe that volcano. Ooh, the architect. That's the area to the last part of Zone 1.
Yeah, pointing out that,
brush. Yeah, go ahead.
I think the Terra Enigma was released in the PAL regions, and so it might have actually been translated. Because there's a lot of games that like get translated or sent out in different regions. Like one thing I was really jealous about is Breath of Fire 3 actually got a PSP release, but only in PAL region. So I imported that. I was like, it's in English? Give me.
Yeah, and it's interesting because unfortunately for our friends in the PAL regions, they usually wouldn't get games nearly as fast, or all the games. Like, we generally had way better games and more of them.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they got Terra Enigma and we didn't. And kudos to them. They deserved a good game.
Yeah, there's that rare PAL W, you know, because they also get the unfortunate frame rate sometimes, which made some of the older games really, really hard to play.
Yeah. Chad is indicating that Enix US, which was the publisher for this game, had actually shut down by that point. So it's why US didn't get it, but PAL did.
Sounds correct. Unfortunately, in the early SNES era, there was a lot of companies that were struggling.
Yep. Okay, so again, we have folks crossing over paths. Razor doing some of the parts that Axeman did earlier. Axeman doing actually same thing because Razor was in this area earlier, so they're just recovering ground each.
Such is the way of randomizers. What a good time for us to get ADHD and talk about literally everything.
Yeah.
Oh, we actually have the metal sword here too, so we can clear the metal enemies and see if we get some interesting drops here.
Yep, we still don't have mushroom shoes though, so.
Yep.
Oh, you mean on Razor? Yeah, on Razor's side, yeah, that'll help.
Yeah, because these right here can be very impactful. Normally, you have to come back here during normal gameplay to finish some of the final game progression.
Yep.
It's one of those, like, if you're familiar with Final Fantasy IV FE, which I know you are, but it's the pan dilemma, right? If you don't go to Fabul unless you have the pan, sometimes the pan is in Fabul. You know?
Yep, because you don't like double or having to double or triple dip certain dungeons, but especially the annoying ones. But yeah, sometimes the pan is locked by the pan, so you're just like, fine.
Yep. So sometimes you want to be like, you know, it'd be nice to go here with a metal sword, but also it's there. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with like it's that one sword. And there's so many checks in this game. Each one of these areas is massive, especially if we're talking about all the different like sub dungeons where there's like some of them it's one big dungeon. Other ones it's usually 1 to 2, maybe even 3 dungeons kind of split up with return to town context in between, and then you get access to the new place.
Absolutely.
Although we're kind of getting the shotgun all over the place because of the way that the randomizer plays out.
Yeah. Also, I want to note that these metal enemies that you're running all over the map with, they're a key example of don't step on an open layer while you're dealing with these friends, because you'll get to the end and be like, but I killed them all. Why is this layer not opening? Whoops, I reset the early ones, so I gotta walk all the way back and get those again.
It's nice EXP, but it's also a nice exercise too.
Yeah, just don't do it. You can, if there's anything else alive, kill them after you've done that. Unlock that layer.
Yeah, which is part of that weird duality with like, okay, well, I have the metal killer sword, so I could kill them all, but it also means I can't open any of the layers until like, all that for 160 gems.
Delightful.
Man.
Just what I wanted for Christmas.
That is a rando in a nutshell.
Yup. DentedRazor following a bird. You've got to chase that bird. 200 experience. Or 2,000, I mean. That's nice and all, but...
Yeah, the bird...
bird's a pain.
Yeah, the forest is a bit interesting because it has the birds and all the different woodland creatures. So some of them you have to chase, some of them will just talk to you, and other ones won't talk to you unless there is another woodland creature spawned in. So that area in particular can be a bit obtuse if you haven't played it vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
definitely a pleasure to be able to show off something that's still kind of in beta.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because unfortunately, while this is, they're doing this through Archipelago, it is still in beta. I'm not sure if this is one of the ones where I heard that they were getting close to not being in beta or whether that was something else. I certainly have hopes it'll soon not be in beta because any games in Archipelago that are in beta means you can still manually load the AP world and the things you need to get it working and play it, but you can't, it's not in the main package, so you do have to download extra things and do extra work, which again, if you're willing, totally cool, but I'm a huge fan of being lazy and just needing to get the main package, the main Archipelago package, and being like, hey, my game just works.
Okay, Todd,
Nice.
calm down.
No, I want it now. I'm lazy.
Yeah.
And there's a few more features to add, which fair.
It is nice too, though, because people like me sometimes can manage to break literally everything. So the less steps, the better. Because I'm like, look, man, I don't even know how to turn my computer on without help. Please.
I'm trying to do a new beta one right now for a different rando, and it's already just basic Archipelago things aren't working right. So I'm gonna have to reinstall main again. I'm like, oh my god. So yeah,
these enemies are the worst.
Yeah. I hate them.
They spawn in and just kind of shoot around the map, so you have to get rid of them quickly, or you end up having to do a wild goose chase and hope they didn't get too far away. The worst part too is depending on how many parts of the area you've opened, it can spiral very quickly.
Yeah, this is such an annoying chain where you're just like, I'm fighting lots of annoying enemies just to get a little bit more pipe to fight more annoying enemies. But again, Razor just knows exactly where they're gonna spawn.
Oh boy.
X-Men back into World 1, clearing out the backside of that.
Yeah, Razor knowing exactly where the enemies are going to head so we can clear those out in an efficient manner.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Gotta get more dolphins.
There, nice. So Lisa's mom. Oh boy, it's been forever. Oh, all I remember is entering Lisa's dream.
Yeah,
honestly,
Lisa's dream to get Leo's paintbrush. Which you need to get into the painting.
It's the massive difference in the sprites too, because between her dream and her sleeping, it's just such a stark difference.
Yeah.
So I remember Lisa. The part is the story is a bit vague in some places too. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I feel like I'm being gaslit here, but I'm not gonna call chat out for that unless I have actual certifiable evidence.
Call them out. She's not there. I don't think Lisa's mom's in the game.
Yeah, they make vague references to it in the dream.
Got it.
But they never really chat would never troll. I trust RPG Limit Break chat, okay? There's a reason I go through the effort of putting these shows on, because I trust you guys.
Wow.
And some of you don't deserve it.
Wow. That was your first mistake, trusting chat. Any chat.
I know.
We love chat, but y'all, you know you did.
Soul of Shield. Nice. Yeah, I believe that is another magic, despite it sounding like possibly an armor. It's just one of those, it's like, ooh, it has a neat name, and then you're like, oh, that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it's not required at all, so...
I want to say it blocks projectiles, but you can usually just murder things before the projectiles become a problem.
Yeah. Chase that. The sweeper bots.
I'm about to like get up and just go get my cartridge out of the storage container on the other side of the room.
That's right.
I need to. I just. Luckily, I've got other ways to play it. I tried putting in my Mega Man X cartridge the other day, and it I got through the intro stage, and then it froze up, and I was like, "Oh, neat, cool. I guess I have to clean this." Oops. But yeah, the magic belt is fantastic.
It's so helpful.
Do both of our runners have it, or was that just
yeah, no,
Razor?
I'm pretty sure they both have it.
Okay. I'm squinting over here, looking at the tracker, trying my best.
It's clearer on YouTube. Ooh, a leaf. Okay, I think that's there's 2 different leaves. I think that's the one for World 2. Well, they're both for World 2, but one is to get further access, and one I think you feed.
DentedRazor showing off the nice hitbox of this sword. If you hold it out at the right position, you can hit enemies without being hit. It's a very it's not really super difficult, but it is something you'll get used to at a certain point. But it can offer quite a bit of safety if you're aware of it and ready to use it.
Yep.
Making really good use of the fire pillars, which is something you usually get so late. It, doesn't get used a ton, but it is extremely strong, and that was a nice spell to start with, or at least get very early on.
Oh my God! Is God saying? Is he actually saying the "don't rush" the vanilla thing? Usually, that's one of the things that's randomized, is what he says, but looked like he said the vanilla. I was like, "Don't tell me not to rush. I'm in a hurry."
That's my only job is to go fast. What are you talking about?
Gotta go fast. Getting another one of the sleeping friends. So there's a bunch of folks within the game who are sleeping. And if you have the dream rod, you can go into their dreams, and there are things to do in there. But they don't have the dream rod. But thankfully, they were able to get Leo's brush, which again unlocks the final bit of World 1, where the boss lives. So it looks like World 1's boss is going to be the first one we'll see.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, vanilla, this area is unlocked by going into Lisa's dream.
Well, you go into Lisa's dream with the dream rod, and from there, she unlocks an area, and the area she unlocks gives you the Leo's brush.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right.
Yeah.
You have to go in there, get another portal, then come back. Yeah.
It's go here to go there, then get this, and then come back. If you love revisiting places, this is your game, y'all.
Yeah, this is a very ping-pongy game, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You'll notice the stark difference between EXP. We're getting 3 here versus the hundreds we'd be getting in some of the later maps, which is why we started out in a later area. Definitely was a bit harder to get through the enemies, but got our levels up to where we wanted them very quickly.
You received nothing. Wow, that's rude.
Tornado. Would have been cute had it been sooner.
Yeah. So, Axeman heading to the same area. It looks like all progression paths lead to murder. So, we're coming to this boss. And again, having the ability to kill metal enemies. Those little octopus guys who travel around in the circles. Oh, blue stone! That's our first stone, so we need that. Yeah, they're metal, so usually you have to come back to this world 3 worlds later. No, I don't think it's always required to come back, but I think these folks usually lock away useful things. I'd need someone more familiar with vanilla to confirm that, though.
I'd love to confirm or deny, but at this point, it would be supposition on my part.
Sid, you're my vanilla expert.
I never said I was an expert. I said I played it a few times.
Listen, that's what I said about the Rando, too. I'm definitely not an expert. But I've played it. I've finished it.
Yep. The only thing I remember is that you can dream rod one of the goats in the first area, and it's one of the more obtuse checks, I guess, in the game, depending on how you want to look at it.
Yeah.
I can dream rod the goat? Sure.
I know there's at least one thing you can dream rod that just doesn't do anything. You're like, thanks. It's just like, yeah, I'm dreaming and I'd love to do this. And you're like, cool, go do that. And it's like, thanks. And that's it. You're like, oh, okay.
The goat's a real like kind of out of the blue thing, but it ends up, I think, being important because it shows you another like switch that you have to hit to open up a new area.
Okay, boss time. There is a quick kill for this boss, but I don't think it matters because they're just way too powerful. I learned the first 15 minutes of the speedrun for this, so I can get up to the point speedrun-wise and get the brownstone, which is the first stone, and that's it. That's my vanilla.
Yeah, that is pretty quick. Yep.
That's quicker than the quick kill. Yeah, the two mushroom shoes. That's helpful.
All that for an herb.
Yep. Herb. Getting the mushroom shoes allows progression on the dwarf mountain. Because you don't have to take the fixed paths anymore. But we also have those leaves. I can't remember if it's A leaf or G leaf. I think it's the G leaf. We'll see soon. There's a raft, which is just like, hey, no, you can't come here. Just go home. This is dangerous. But you've got this leaf which reminds it of its master or something. And it's like, okay, cool. Actually, I'll take you where you need to go.
Yeah, some of the progression points in this game are questionable or funny, depending on how you want to look at it.
Sometimes both. Sometimes both. Also, I hate these statues. These folks are overpowered, so these statues are not annoying, but they teleport to random areas and shoot things out, and if you're low at all, they're just like, no. So we just got a grandma, but I would like to make sure you all understand this is not a dancing grandma. She's just a grandma. We love that for her.
Yeah. This game.
Yeah. Harp string.
The dancing grandmas are going to be mainly contained within that mountain area, so that'll be we're wanting to see the grandmas spawning in there, as well as the last couple, another set of 3 emblems and some more hot items to actually finish off the final boss, or at least fight the final boss.
I just find it funny that all the grandmas are just called grandmas, and you don't know which ones are dancing grandmas.
Yeah.
Except for the positioning. They come out and you're like, oh yeah, that's a dancing grandma. We're good.
You have to know which area for it to be like, okay, cool, grandma, yay! And then you're like, wait, I've been had.
I've been had. This grandma doesn't dance.
Like, in the back of my mind, I'm just like, do I want to make a your friends don't dance joke? And I'm just like,
absolutely. Your grandmas don't dance. Then there are no grandmas at all.
Doesn't matter. I did not realize that was the qualifier.
It is now, and for Soul Blazer it is. So those big orbs, they can only be killed with spirit killing swords. So they're another thing you end up having to come back for. But these folks all have the spirit sword, so it is not an issue.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of annoying things, because normally they hit pretty hard.
Yep.
Being able to just get them out of the way is very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this kind of maze, I guess.
Nothing. Yeah, this maze is annoying because you're just like, and most of the layers here just open up progression within the maze.
It's like, you know what you're getting, but it's still like, oh, that's cool. Like, big fat goose egg.
Yup.
Went through all this for nothing.
Yeah, there's only like 1 or 2 layers on this floor, which are actually, useful. But it's okay because, progression. That's good. Oh, this is fun. It's going to be darkroom time because I don't think they have the... Nope, they do not. There's a soul of light you get, which gives you a light, which allows you to see here. It goes around you and lights things up. But, again, like with most games with darkrooms, anyone who is running these games enough know how to manage the darkrooms. So, I have no doubt in my mind that both Razor and Axeman are going to be just totally fine with these. These are... honestly, generally speaking, definitely easier than some of the like Link to the Past dark rooms. But if you get yourself a little lost, they can be a bit of a pain. Thankfully, usually follow the walls. Yeah,
I guess that is probably the strat. It's right up there with like when I'm watching Zelda 2, Dark Cave Spelunking. Then when you actually watch it in Randomizer, and you're like, how do you even know what cave you're going through? And it's just like, well, I just do. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So something I want to note is because Razor did unlock one of the layers, but didn't actually step on it because again he was trying to complete other layers. That one will remain completed until he steps on it. He doesn't have to redo it now. It's just he won't get the benefit, which for that one is a teleport until then. But he defeated the boss of this world, easy peasy. One of the more annoying bosses in vanilla for me, at least.
Yes. This boss is usually one of those ones that kills you. The first boss can kill you, but it's usually a little bit simpler. But this is the second boss, I think.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's 3 different health bars and 3 different attacks that you have to get used to, you'll wipe here a few times casually.
Oh, interesting. Why is he walking out? I'm sure there's stuff he's still got to do, which is why he's doing... yeah, there was a layer he had left behind. Okay. Because, yeah, the one layer he's left is a transport back to the area. There you go. Easy peasy. He is done, except for certain checks in World 2. He's got all World 2 open. It's just depending on who he unlocks. There's definitely more checks there. So he's got mushroom shoes going back to the mountain to be able to do that. Yeah. He can't jump, but now he can slide.
So the item inventory does show that there is quite a bit, but a lot of them end up being useless MacGuffins. I'd say about 50% of it or less is actually impactful in any significant way.
Yeah, exactly.
And then maybe like 10 to 20% of them can actually give you access to new things.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them just end up being a trade quest item, for better or worse.
Yeah, trade quest item, or we're opening something, but you're just freeing the world. You're not actually getting progression, you know?
Yeah. It's
again,
unlocking,
Rando,
but with extra steps.
Yep. In vanilla, you'd like if you're doing, say, a vanilla speedrun, you'd know which layers you could just ignore.
Yeah, in a vanilla run, we probably would be using about a third, if maybe half of these. Because a lot of them end up just kind of leading to dead ends or dropping chests, and a lot of the chests don't have anything super important in them.
Yeah.
This room is kind of a really weird one with all the sliding and stuff.
Yep, because even with mushroom shoes, like they don't affect the sliding in this area. Plus, you've got a bunch of layers with a lot of annoying enemies, lots of projectiles. Because what's best to have when you're sliding around and have no control? That's right, projectiles. Look at those friends. And by friends, I mean annoying. Okay, so yeah, Axeman doing the same path, because again, progression in Soul Blazer is a lot more locked, generally speaking. It could be that while going through these areas, though, they're going to get multiple things unlocked, and that will change their progression a bit. But generally speaking, we're going to see a lot of similar pathing. I hate these guys. The little vampire guys. Because they teleport around. They really went, what are all the things that we would hate the most if we were on slippery floors? And added them to... Okay, using magic to kill some of those enemies over there, that's super smart.
Yeah, leveraging the magic is a very good play on this.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can actually direct that ball a bit, like, even if, because you're against the wall, but you're still pressing forward, so it's like, okay, I'm going, even though you're not. It's pretty clever.
Yeah, disjoining the, like, soul. I think it's like the soul that God gives you. This game is very weird.
Soul.
Magician
Yeah,
soul, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have it set so they'll always start with that one.
Because it's normally one of the first. You get the Magician's Soul and the Fireball in the very first area when you do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to say the magic damage is independent of your sword too, which is part of the other reason why the later spells end up being a lot more useful, because they just straight up have their own damage values.
Oh my god, 10 whole XP AxeMan got there. Amazing.
Paid out big, baby. What
Love
a gamble.
it. We did it. Just straight up winning.
Just waiting for the devs to change 10 EXP to box of rocks.
Well,
You got 'em.
they've picked up nothing in some spots.
Yeah, that's the Soul Blazer experience with how many checks there just are. You're just going to run into a drought at some point. Unfortunately. It's the other nice thing of like disjointing the hitbox with a magic too. You can hit things that would otherwise be out of your reach as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the layers where you're like, yep, these monsters are all going to take the same path, and it's going to be great. I'm just going to sit here and blast them. This enemy was supposed to be annoying, yet it is fully manipulatable. Look at that tree, it's so happy it dances.
Like I said, this game is so much personality.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that comes from, I think it's the Shinto principles, which is one of the major religions in Japan, where it's everything has a soul, including items, you know, plants, animals, and so you should respect them because they may or may not have feelings, but they exist and will know. So it feels like a lot of that ties into some of the stuff they do in Soul Blazer.
Yeah, that's an interesting call out, because I never really considered it that much. I just always kind of thought of it as a quirky game, but it definitely makes more sense when you put it in that perspective.
Yeah.
These fire pillars are doing gangbusters.
Yeah, they are.
For a whopping 200 gems.
Jeez. Ooh, got a door. Wouldn't you hate living in a house where you had to unlock the doors? Like, not just unlock so they'll open, so that they exist.
Yeah.
They're like, thanks, video game.
Like, I'm going to buy this home, and they're like, oh, by the way, you need to spawn in the door.
Mm-hmm.
And you just go, what? That wasn't at the closing. We didn't talk about this.
Yeah. So Razor coming back to Leo's lab. Check out some of the things we unlocked.
Slowly but surely cleaning up each and every check till we actually have the final bits of progression we need, because it looks like we're at 4 out of 6 emblems, so we're just short mainly the hot items. Looks like
no,
AxeMan.
the emblems don't do anything. We need the stones, and we've only got 1 out of 6. We still need 5 more stones.
Oh, yeah, I'm reading it backwards on the. I mean, I'm looking at them. I'm like, that would be neat if that were true.
We're doing so great.
Keep telling yourself that. Maybe it'll be reality.
I mean, they're doing. Oh, I just noticed though. It looks like only AxeMan has the red hot ball. So I'm wondering where. I can't remember where that was because Razor hasn't picked that up yet.
Yeah, that was like probably 20 minutes in.
Yeah, it was really early.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. Might be one of those that he disregarded for cleanup later or forgot to take.
Yeah. He's got a tracker though, so there's the king. So that's all the well, no, sorry. Yes. Oh no, that was a dancing grandma. I forgot they waited outside until they Yeah. Because there are, let me be clear, there are actually non-dancing grandmas, but the ones that hang out with the king, those are our dancing grandmas. So we do have 1 of 2 dancing grandmas.
Yeah, it's like one of the few like actual cutscenes in the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you want to call it that.
Mm-hmm. I count it from a 90s SNES game, you know, especially one like this. It counts.
A lot more programming than you would expect them to put into something like this.
Absolutely. Oh, they got one of the two tables. So there's two miniature worlds in Leo's lab. No, sorry, world. No, this is Leo's lab.
Yes, it is lab.
Yeah, so you have to go in and do these. They're a bit of a pain, but a bit fun too. They're one of those ones. Oh, we picked up the soul detection at some point because you can see that as the magician's orb is going around now, some of the things it's got this like distorted circle, so it's going to show the truth. You'll see certain things without that, but anything it goes over, it's showing what's really there.
Yeah, it definitely makes this area a lot more like reasonable. It's super obnoxious without the revealing light.
Mm-hmm.
You just end up getting hit by a bunch of things, and you're like, why am I taking damage? Stop!
Yeah, why are you hitting me? Stop! Yeah, this area is annoying. But you definitely feel real big. You're like, you can't get me. I can step on you. Real Gulliver's Travels, except you are the problem.
Yeah.
You're not here to make friends.
The tables are very interesting, like,
Yeah.
way to implement a side dungeon. So a lot of the areas, the further you get, the more, like, independent dungeons there are. So it's very interesting that they can make these kind of self-contained, yet still have it make sense.
Absolutely. Ooh, purple stone. Nice. So that we're a third of the way through stones-wise.
Purple, let's go.
Actually, we're kind of generally speaking about a third of the way go mode-wise, because one of the three red hots, we have 2 of 3 of the final items, aka sword and magic. We don't have the armor yet. And 2 of 6 stones. And 1 of 2 dancing grandmas. And we need the king of the dwarf mountain, not because he's technically the final ruler or the important person there, but I don't think we can activate dancing grandmas when the time comes without him.
Yeah, we need him for the cutscene, despite him being pretty much vestigial, just like he exists and allows the cutscene to happen rather than initiating it.
Exactly.
Grandma's dance!
Yeah, not yet, but soon. So now both our runners. Wait, Axeman, it's got listed as 3 stones. So there was a stone pickup he got that we missed. And he's definitely ahead. We're having that and the red hot ball. Again,
just picked up the purple stone.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice,
so again,
nice.
I wonder where he picked up that stone that we missed.
X-Men's got a pretty decent lead at this point.
Yeah.
But we'll see. DentedRazor may go back over that area fairly quickly, since we're rapidly running out of places to go.
We found Lisa. She doesn't do anything until we get the dream rod. But hi, Lisa.
Oh yeah, we know that the purple was the same stone, but that means he picked up one earlier that DentedRazor has yet to find. So
exactly,
he's got the red hot ball as well as an additional stone that Razor has not seen yet.
Yeah. So, in terms of what they're doing now, Razor is technically ahead, but again, there's some checks which he has skipped that Axeman has done. So, no, we've seen a third stone. Looks like we've seen gray stone, if I'm looking at the tracker correctly. Yeah, because if you look at Axeman's tracker, he's got the
3
white.
of 6.
Yeah, we've got white, purple, and blue. No, Red Hot Ball, we saw him get it earlier. I just don't remember where that was. But we caught him getting that real early on. But did not even see him getting the white stone.
Yeah, I wish I was a little bit more attentive early on. But I did notice it. And considering a lot of the randomizers in like early game have at least now, most of them have an established route. I was of the assumption that we would end up in a position where they would cross over very quickly, so they would end up seeing those early game items. but it seems that everybody is still kind of defining their own play style, so the routes and checks are not uniform at all.
Yeah, let's see what Marie's got for us. Oh wow, 120 gems. Thanks, Marie.
At least we get to leave.
Okay, and we got the Sleeping Soldier in World 6, which again, useless to us until we get Dream Rod. Ooh, magic armor. That's exists. There's only 2 armors we need, which as for actual checks, and that's bubble armor, which they both have, it looks like, and the soul armor.
Yeah, bubble armor is another really cute one because there's the underwater world, and you need the bubble armor to actually travel to most of the places because of that.
It lets you breathe.
Damage. Yep.
It literally just creates a bubble around you. It's great.
Unfortunately, like the fire pass, where you can just kind of face tank the damage, you take damage way too fast to get through there without the bubble armor.
Yep. Wow, would you like the 3,000 experience I have? Sure. Thanks.
I guess. Okay, shrug.
Hand you a bag of experience. So yeah, there are 4 mermaid statues in the water area. Each one unlocks part of the zone. There's 4 different zones within this area. So only one has been unlocked. And I think they did that earlier. So we're just picking up some of the loose checks. Looks like Axeman is back in World 6. Oh, we've got now DentedRazor now has all of the leaders because he just unlocked King Madrid. King, he's a jerk. And other PG-13 words for a not very nice fellow.
The names that you write in your splits, but you don't say out loud.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We don't like him. He's not. Then again, I don't like many of the people in that world. Many of them are mean.
A lot of the rulers are just trash people. They're just bad.
It's why I love that gnome, the snail who got locked in the dungeon by the king, is what's considered the ruler of world. I think that's 3, 4. It's amazing. You're just like, yeah, it's world 4. You're like, wow, that's great. I love this guy. He's great. But yeah, most of the rulers are arrogant and mean.
Yeah, the world's more or less fallen into chaos, and the rulers are just all petty, vengeful, spiteful for the most part.
The tree in 2 isn't so bad. He's pretty okay.
He's pretty chill.
Fortunately,
the woods is pretty chill, but every other area, it's just like...
And any human, any one of the leaders who is a human, we're like, get out of here. Or a human or a mermaid. Because Marie's a doll, and she's fine. Gnome's a snail, he's fine. Tree is fine.
Yeah, because even like Dr. Leo's lab is kind of ruled by his doll that he left behind while he's trying to fix the chaos of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Which unfortunately comes to a head in the castle area as well.
Yeah,
a lot of the storylines pay off very, not super cathartically, but they do pay off well.
Yeah, there isn't a huge story, but it's a pretty good one. Oh, yeah. Weirdly, Dr. Leo is not in Dr. Leo's lab.
Yep, abandoned laboratory. Oops.
Yep.
Heading out to some of these islands that we finally have access to with the bubble armor, and hopefully we'll see some progression here.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little grouchy. Yeah, just a little grouchy. That's
a miserable pile of... Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Miserable pile of piles.
Mm-hmm. Fighting the jelly donuts. You can't convince me those aren't jelly donuts.
Some of these enemies have some very distinct designs.
Yup. It's a goat! That goat doesn't do anything. They're just like, hi, I'm a goat! Some of them will give you hints as well, but some of them are truly useless. Unless existing is useless, and we're cool with just existing. You don't have to be useful to exist, but also, in my video game, I would like you to have purpose, please. Thank you. Does it scream? I don't know, but I'll scream for it.
Ice cream. We all scream for ice cream?
We all scream for goats?
Go!
Goats. Goats scream enough. Yeah, this area is the above world area, which has a distinct name of which I never remember unless I'm looking at my tracker. It's annoying. The birds are annoying. The things that hop around are annoying. Most of the things you're unlocking are just more enemy layers. You're just like, super. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah, this area is like layered in a kind of obnoxious way where it's clear one pool, clear the next pool, clear the next pool. A lot of the areas are pretty decent about not being like that, but it's not something that isn't a problem throughout the course of the game, unfortunately.
Yeah, notice one of the items Axeman got, which Razor got earlier, was a mobile key. So that's one of the check items.
Oh boy, another strange bottle.
Love those.
I'm gonna keep all my gems.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Now we get the dancing mermaids. Nice.
Yay. Not nearly as good as dancing grandmas.
Yeah. We resemble but are legally distinct.
Yeah. Yeah, I love these teleporters where they just take you back. Ah, we unlocked another mermaid statue. Nice.
Yeah, because normally in vanilla playthrough, to do the mermaid statues, you have to go to like each one of the cardinal islands from the underwater area.
Mm-hmm.
That eventually gives you the full point of progression.
Yep.
So they open up these little statues.
Yep. So each mermaid statue unlock, you talk to them, and then there's a pillar of stone in your way. They'll remove it so you can access one of those cardinal areas, like Sid said. So it's
very interesting to see. At least with this set, it's a lot less chaotic than I envisioned this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty good idea to keep some of those coupled, so the progression point is a lot easier to gauge.
Mm-hmm.
I'd imagine at some point that's not going to be the case, and these seeds could be very chaotic in the future.
Yes. Yep. And yeah, someone in chat talking about the tune. Soul Blazer's music, whether you like playing the game or not, the music is just fire. It's just so good.
We have to tread a very fine line here, so we're not yapping over it too much, because the music is it is very good.
Yeah. No, I'm here to yap. You want to hear the music? Play the game. So this is the volcano we talked about earlier. It's shooting fire projectiles, and there's lava around. If you can get to the top and use the mermaid tears, all of that will stop, which is useful for some of the layers. Generally speaking, though, you can kind of just tank the damage at this point, but it's easier if you don't have to.
This ends up being like one of the more early annoying areas, because I think this is around where you actually get the metal sword, so you can actually go back and kill some of those metal enemies. But you have to make it like all the way up and deal with some very, very annoying enemies, just not being killable.
Yeah, including some metal monkeys.
Yeah, metal monkeys was not on my bingo card when I played this game. I'm like, sure, whatever you say, game.
Yep, they're a pain in the butt. I do not like them.
There's ice armor, so we can move on the hot floors. Oh, wait.
That's good, though. We got one of the mole holes, so that means that's some more access, I believe.
Still making sure that we clean out all the enemies before we activate one of the panels.
Yep.
All right. Seems like I have my family members coming back here very shortly in the future, so I'll have to be going, unfortunately. I will try. I will try and make my way back, but we have a new dog coming and joining the family, so I need to make sure that they play nice.
I have faith in you.
I'm going to try my hardest. But I'm going to start getting things ready for that. You need anything from me before I head out?
Yeah, you can just camp here for 2 minutes.
Sure, we can do that.
Yeah. Sid's going to tell you a story. I don't know what
I don't know what...
Story of Soul Blazer.
Yeah, goats. I'll tell you a story that's completely unrelated to Soul Blazer. And whenever I hear goats, I think about this old book I was read as a kid, Gregory the Picky Eater. I don't know if any of you've ever seen it, but it's a book about goats, and the young goat is just like, I'm not going to eat anything, and it spends the whole book like realizing that he doesn't need to be a picky eater. Completely unrelated story. I'm sure Chad is very baffled as to why this came up, but it happened. Anyway, back to the actual gameplay. Still trying to make some progression here, looking through. Getting a couple of snails here. That area right there, we actually, I think, have a snail race. I'm not sure if that is 3 or 4 snails we need.
Check 1, 2.
But once
I don't even know if it gives us anything. It might give us like a check.
It might be, yeah. There are a lot of layered checks where you have to open up 2 or 3 NPCs to actually get access. And the way that it's going, I mean, it could be a medical herb, or it could just be nothing. Ooh, 3 statues. Nice.
Yep, that's more progress.
All right.
Okay,
well, I'll make my way back if possible. Thank you guys for watching, and if I don't see you by the time the stream ends, I hope everybody has a great day.
Bye. It's just us here now, chat. Sid can't save you. I mean, hi! Welcome!
Whoa, hello, hi, what? I was told somebody suddenly needed help.
I don't need help, but I'm always happy to have you here. Listen, if you want to co-commentate with me, you absolutely can. Otherwise, chat got to deal with just me, which I'm fine with.
You'll still be pulling the heavyweight because I know nothing about Soul Blazer, but I'm here. So, you know.
But that's the best that's the best commentator, Ashen. The person who's here like, I don't have a clue what's going on. Let me ask this question, and then, you know, we can answer it. And then folks who are watching this for the first time will also understand. Yeah, exactly. Also, chat, if any of you have questions about any of this that's going on, whether it's because you've never played a Soul Blazer, there's no stupid questions. We're here to talk about it. Soul Blazer's cool, and we wanna convince you to play. Or not, just we want to convince you the music's good and you should listen to it.
That's definitely true. I've been bopping to it this entire time.
Yeah. What's a soul and how do I blazer it? Well, you get talked to by a god who sends you down because you are their minion avatar. I think you're their avatar. And save the world. Easy, right? We could all do it.
Is there an appreciable difference between minion and avatar? I know one of them's yellow and one of them's blue, but that's about all I've got.
I will ban you myself, Ashen. Just you watch! My god. But yes, for folks who are just coming, this is a randomizer as well. So not only are you soul blazing, they shuffled it up. Also, Axeman just getting, and Razor got a moment ago, a non-dancing grandma. I can't wait for all of you to learn dancing grandmas, because Ashen also is unaware about the dancing grandmas, and I love this for all of us.
I'm excited to see what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is the part that leads to the boss. And you have to navigate a really annoying boat. Oh, there's the queen. She technically has 2 checks. So we have to navigate the boat. There's lots of things jumping around and there's holes in the floor. So there's actually a particular path you have to take. Again, these folks are such high level and they've got good gear. So this is not an issue. Hi, welcome. There's a boss. You just gotta hit him. And he's dead. Goodbye. Ooh, Dream Rod.
I always appreciate a boss that's just like, I'm here for a second, and then they're just immediately gone. Like,
yeah, it's usually... Yeah, go ahead.
We don't need to see them very long. They can just go. It's fine.
Get out of here. Well, it's the second boss of the game, and considering the gear they have. So apparently we have the Dream Rod, and which opens up a few checks, because with the Dream Rod, we can go into the dreams of a bunch of the dreaming NPCs, which almost all of them unlock at least one thing. We also got a pass, which is for World 1. It lets us in. The boys have a secret club, and it will let you in if you have the pass. Literal children will let you in because you have a pass to their secret club. It's adorable, frankly. Okay, what are we doing first? Oh yeah, first we're talking to Gnome, who's gonna give us something. Okay, we don't really care. That was Not helpful, but in the corner, we have a dreaming mushroom. Hello, bud.
So
A
in addition
lot
to...
of... Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, a lot of these dreaming folks literally unlock paths. So you go into their dreams, and there's a layer you can step on, which will unlock something that was previously locked. So yeah, your question.
I mean, it unlocks something in the real world.
Yes.
That's very interesting. So not only do you jump between like 8 different worlds, but you're also jumping in and out of different people's dreams to affect things in these 8 worlds.
Yeah, it's really interesting because Lisa's the first person you do it to, and you have to get to the first boss. And she wakes up immediately after the dream and yells at you, being like, "What are you doing in my room, standing over me while I sleep?" Which I feel is a very justifiable reaction.
Right?
Your character, you run out and leave, and as you're leaving, she's like, "No, wait, come back." And if you talk to her, she'll give you a bunch of exposition about her father is Dr. Leo, who is someone we're basically chasing through this game, because he's supposedly working on things and trying to fix things. And, but we don't actually get to see him until the second last world. And, but it's just funny because you don't ever have to go back. So you can go into her dreams, stand over her, get yelled at, run away, and she's like, "No, come back." And you're like, "No, I'm out. Bye." Yeah. Do you have to use the dream rod when you're already in it? Listen. The answer is no. The serious answer, even though I know that was a meme question. Okay, so what Razor has done, talking to that mushroom, unlocked another section of this underground area, so he's completing that. Axeman went the other direction, which was talking to Lisa in the first world, which unlocks one check, which would usually in vanilla have Leo's paintbrush. So this is where we have a bit of divergence, but useful because again, they're both going to have to do it unless they get go mode, but neither of them are that close.
And would you explain again what items we need for go mode?
Go mode is our red hot items, which is the red hot ball, the red hot rod, and the red hot mirror. We need 2 dancing grandmas, 6 stones, of which we have 2 or 3 depending on the runner. And we need the soul blade, which we have, the soul armor, which we don't, and the phoenix spell, which we have. So Axeman is ahead because he is up 1 stone and 1 red hot item to Razor's items. It's randomizer, so that doesn't mean he's gonna win as such, but currently Axeman is in the lead. So we fully missed where he got the white stone. We just did not see. We just looked when he got the purple stone and went, "Wait, now he's at 3. Where did he get that white one?" And he got the red hot ball really early, and we were too busy generally explaining, or I was, and I just didn't remember where he picked it up. It was incredibly early, though, so it's a early check that Razor hasn't done yet. So, but he's using a tracker, so worst case, late game, it'll be like, "Hey, why haven't you checked this basic check?" And he'll check it, because he needs that. In the vanilla game, you end up doing most of the worlds, and then you have to go back to a bunch of folks, and then they will, who wouldn't do anything for you before, and now they'll give you the red hot items. Because I think you get all the way up to Death Toll, who's the final boss, and it won't let you in. And then you're like, "Oh, I need the red hot items and Phoenix." So the red hot items, you bring them to the king of the dwarves, and the grandma's dance, and you get Phoenix spell.
Question in the chat: Does this rando have an auto tracker? Yes, both of our runners are using an auto tracker, as you can see on their screens that they're sending to us.
Now, that just because it's there doesn't mean it's an auto tracker, but they are doing specifically the archipelago version. So that has a pop tracker, which you can hook up either to your SNES Lua or your the actual AP world, which they're not doing because they're doing the same seed, and it will do the tracking for you. So they might be doing it manually, or if it were me, I'd hook it to my SNES Lua, which does it auto, and it's great.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they both said that they were using an auto tracker during setup.
Nice, yeah. There's no reason why you wouldn't.
Yeah.
When it's so easy to use, like, you have to connect to the Lua anyways to just make this. Oh, that would be from Archipelago. Yeah, so no, they don't have. But generally, if you do Archipelagos, you know how to connect to the Lua, and it's the exact same thing, and you just need to know the specific thing to connect to. But again, if you're using it, it's really easy to instruct someone. So, yeah, there's almost no reason not to. Also, they both have no mode on the Red Hot stick. They've unlocked one of the trees, which has squirrels in it. I'm not sure which. Oh, I think those are the delicious seeds it needs, actually. One of the squirrels wants delicious seeds and will give you an item. And I'm not sure if that's the squirrel that has the Red Hot stick, but one of the two squirrels or something in that tree has the Red Hot stick. So, yeah, we're going to get that immediately because, again, we know that is a required go mode item. That's the seeds. Oh, both squirrels are there, so yeah. Oh, silver stone. Oh, what a... Oh, do they not have the other leaf? Because the other squirrel didn't give them the red hot stick. But yeah, so silver stone. So that's the stone that we missed. Earlier was talking to the squirrel. Oh no, they did get the red hot stick. Awesome. Perfect. So the squirrels, that was such a stacked squirrel tree, having both one of our required stones and the red hot stick. Yeah, there's also a secret item there in the little area where it gets unlocked by the sleeping mushroom. There's just a hidden item where the mushroom was standing in the dream. So if you just search there, you get something. Hey children, let me in your lair. I require your things. I definitely won't steal them. We're gonna steal them.
Shh, they don't need to know that.
Yeah, so we're fighting the boss here. Or Axeman did. Razor did that earlier. Easy peasy. Oh, second dancing grandma. So that's both grandmas. So I know they both have both grandmas now.
Time to boogie down, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, welcome back. Yeah, we have so we have no mode on the stick, and one of us has the stick. We found where the silver rock was. It was one of the two squirrels in the tree in the second world.
Good, good. At least
also,
we're not...
each of the worlds has names, and I just don't remember them, so I'm just calling them by number.
Yeah, like outside of the forest and the lab, those are like the only two that stick in my head.
Yeah. I know one of them's Green Hill, I think, or Greens something. Anyways.
So that's the Green Hill Zone? Wait, what?
Yeah, that's exactly. That's Sonic, but it's something like that. Anyways, I don't remember. Oh wait, I have the tracker up, and they've all got names. It's Grass Valley, Woods of Greenwood, which is just funny. Seabed Sanctuary, Mountain of Souls, Dr. Leo's Lab, and Magrid Castle, and the World of Evil.
Oh, as a quick aside, we this is actually one of the areas that Axeman's on, the water area. This is DentedRazor had a version of the game where you could just go out of bounds, and when I saw how he dealt with the boss of this area, I was like, oh, we got to showcase this. This is just funny.
Oh, that's cool. Because
this boss is normally very annoying because he comes in and goes out. He'll like come in close to stab you with a trident and then back away. And with the out of bounds version, you just walk on the water behind him and poke him in the back of the head till he dies.
Amazing.
Get wrecked.
So, yeah, I think it is the St. Ellis Seabed, but the tracker calls it the Seabed Sanctuary. So I'm like, cool, sounds great. No, it's the Silver Stone, so we still don't know where the White Stone is. Fascinating.
So we do have a bit of divergence then. One's got silver, one's got white.
Well, no, they both have silver now. Axeman just picked up silver along with the red hot stick.
Looks like Axeman's got a pretty good lead here, unless Razor does a follow-up and finds those missing items, unfortunately.
Yeah, and again, we don't have a clue where the white stone is, but we do know that the red hot ball was early.
It's really interesting, like I've said a few times before, to see the creation of the route and how kind of not having a standardized play can lead to a relatively similar flag or run for most characters, but all it takes is one or two checks to not be like, yeah, this is a check you should always do.
Yeah.
Kind of devolves into this, oopsie, I missed the one important thing I needed.
Yep. Okay, super bracelet. Okay, doesn't she usually have one of the bracelets? Vanilla? Maybe
I don't think the bracelets are here.
No, maybe not. Well, we got one now. Those are useful. The super bracelet, doesn't that up both attack and defense?
I want to say it's just more defense than the regular bracelet, but I could be wrong because it's been a while.
Too.
Oh yeah, the super bracelet is definitely both, because one of them is attack, one of them is defense.
Yeah.
I forgot there was 3 of them, honestly. Eesh. Yeah, VIP card, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
A lot of these have rabbit holes of trades.
Yep. Okay. We use the key to get in, and then we push the dresser. Take the contents from my drawer. Okay.
Yeah, there's a few characters in each spot that will just eternally give you magic herbs. Some of them are the chests, some of them are the trees. There's a lot of places, luckily, you can get your medical herb replaced, which is super nice.
Yeah, and question in the chat, they are both running the exact same seed. So everything is randomized the exact same for both of them. They have randomized it through Archipelago, but they are not running an Archipelago seed. They don't have a room open because they would have different seeds then. So it was just one of them would have rolled it through Archipelago, made sure the other one had it, and then so they're both racing that.
Yeah. The only difference is the way that they've decided to play the seeds.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much standard in Rando race.
Absolutely. Because, again, even Soul Blazer, that tends to be fairly similar. Lots of different options and permutations you can kind of do within it.
Yeah, the thing is like a lot of this is kind of chasing down a string, really.
Brownstone.
So you might get fed up at a point where it's like, this is not paying out. And sometimes you just gotta push all the way through the check. Every once in a while, it could even be something as simple as like, oh, he had a better weapon here so he could actually kill these enemies. And then he's just forgot to go back for those specific checks. Hey, it's a brownstone.
Oh, the knight chess pieces. Those are in the platinum tower. That's interesting because they both were in there, but it could be that Razor got an item and then dipped out, or missed something in there.
You know, I knew it was early on.
Yeah, because they both went to the platinum tower early.
Yeah, that's one of those, like, those rooms are super awkward. Yeah. So it may have been that Razor got punted out by dying to something and forgot that he had a few things left and was like, you know what, it's not worth it. I can't conquer that area.
I'll just come back if it's necessary, and unfortunately, it's incredibly necessary. Also, I need to know, we're getting really close to go mode for Axeman because he got a 5th rock here, which... that's 4th for Razor. So he just needs 1 stone. He needs to get the red hot mirror, and he needs the soul armor. That is all Axeman needs, and he's go mode.
It feels kind of weird that the armor is required when it's like the sword shooting the magic makes sense, but it's like,
how else do you breathe in space?
Yep,
it's so you can. Yep.
took me a minute. I started shooting my mouth off and my brain connected after I started talking.
I do that so often, my God.
Neuron.
Yeah, so the final place, Red Hot Mirror, gosh, so he just needs the soul armor, because the last place is in space, and breathing is cool, actually. Even the avatar of, the god here needs it. And the last stone. Oh, yeah, Razor's gonna kick himself for missing that red hot ball. Because that's something he should have, and again, I have no idea. It's possible, though, that the stone was up there, too. That shortly after, that maybe that's where he got it. That Axeman got it. Oh, that's so rando. It's one of those, it's the ultimate question of, do I fade this check, or is this gonna screw me? And in this case, fading the check was not the right call, but so often it is.
Yeah, with the extremely high critical mass of checks in this game, it can be very easy to just...
Yeah.
Oops.
Yep. Okay, apparently the black stone, it was in the village in World 1, went down a vine below a goat, went around a building and back up again. So it's just one check in World 1 that Razor didn't check there. So it's just 2 checks he's faded.
This is hilarious. So I got like an 8-month-old, which I said a minute ago, and my 3-year-old Doberman is terrified of her, apparently, despite that dog being super skittish.
Yeah.
My Doberman's come up in here, run on the bed, and is like cowering next to me while she's sniffing around my floor, and I'm like, "What are you doing, you goober? You're such a goober." Sorry about the aside, guys. It's just too
puppy.
Cute. I know, right?
Vicious puppy. Okay, so we're gonna take the ribbon we got ages ago. Oh no, this is first we gotta do the sleeping one. Go to the sleeping tree. Yeah, we're in a tree, and the tree is like, if I could be something else, I'd be a bird, so I could fly. In my dreams, I'm not stuck. You're like, that's both beautiful and tragic. I must have already done the moles.
Definitely seems like the main thought process with these is to try and get all of the checks in the non-dungeon areas, and then try and clear as many of them as possible.
Yeah.
Without wasting too much time going back and forth.
Yep.
Which in vanilla would be fairly easy because you only have like everything just kind of flows back to front. This we kind of have to go a bit of everywhere just to get what we want.
Oh yeah, you're constantly, again, as we mentioned earlier, constantly back and forthing.
Those few souls that we saw just kind of hanging out in the forest, there's actually a stage there and one other deer as well, and the deer do a little dance for you. This game is obsessed with dancing, I think, actually.
Yeah, there's a squirrel, a deer, and I think there's one other. They're the something trio.
Yeah.
And then they'll all turn into deer, and they're like, you have to guess, and they'll move around, and they're like, guess which one is, really the mouse or something, and it's always
it's like a squirrel, a deer, and a dog, and you're just like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah, guess which one I am. Then they'll change to deer and then just move around. And you got to figure out which is which, but it's always the rightmost. It never changes. It's not randomized. So, so you just don't even have to follow it once you know. Yeah, Razor's checking things. He's like, I've missed something.
I feel it in the pit of my stomach. I have made a grievous error. When? Yep. I don't know.
But I have missed something. Yep. Because he might not have the map tracker either. He could just be doing the tracker, and in which case, it shows him what items he's got, but not what checks he's done. I'm still relatively new enough that I use the map tracker. I don't know what I can't look at my thing and go, I should check these checks.
I wish I had that good a memory, but I learned very early on that I need the tracker when I do rando stuff.
Same.
And it's just like,
Yeah, folks who can remember it and keep it straight in their head, I love that for you. Like, what a skill. But it ain't one I possess, nor can train. So I'm just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, luckily I'm pretty good with like the visual layout of areas, but it's still it's very easy to get lost in the sauce and be like, oh yeah, I didn't do that thing. So if I ever accidentally turn a check off or like remove it from the tracker, I'm like, oh, this is gonna bite me in the butt later, isn't it?
Good news though, Razor is in the Platinum Tower.
Yeah, he's finally headed back to this.
I think he just did the beginning or something. I really thought he had done this, but no, I think he went and did other things and then just didn't do it.
Should be a bit quicker though, because we actually have access to the more powerful swords and we can take swings rather than poking for damage.
Yep, we've got the key, the vehicle key, so we need that in order to do this boss. So at the end of
what a fantastic boss it is, and there's the red ball. So at least we're all but I think it's a emblem away. But since it's 6 of 8,
no, it's 1 rock for AxeMan, 2 rocks for Razor, plus the soul armor.
Okay. So if there's 8 total, then there's a chance we could. Let me double check to make sure.
No, there's not 8 total. Those are the emblems. There's 6 total. It's the rocks.
Yeah, because it's based on the amount of areas. With 6 sounds correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and chat, unfortunately, it doesn't matter what you know. It's what the runner knows. And the runner does not know it is there and has not done that check. So... that's fine. Again, there's still the soul armor out there, and we don't even know where that is, so...
Yep, you are definitely right. It is 6 of 6. It's the emblems that I was mixing up.
Yeah, you did that earlier.
You know, if nothing else...
Yeah.
I am bound and determined to stick my foot in my mouth, whether or not there's somebody here to correct me.
Listen, if you know you're correct, just do it. Just be right about it.
I mean, if I'm wrong about it good enough, they'll believe me too.
Yeah, see? That's the goal. Yeah, not going in the sleeping soldiers, just like, nah. I think there's a check or it unlocks something, the sleeping soldier, so...
There's a few of these that are, you gotta throw through the dream rod or some other method. There's a lot of very, like, obtuse things that... when you see it casually, you're like, that surely couldn't lead to any sort of progression.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, that just unlocks the whole rest of the area, I see.
Yeah, he's realized what he hasn't checked, Razor, so I think he's gonna go check that vine. He's gonna get his missing stone.
That's good. I was worried that we were gonna end up on a, get hung up on that 1 or 2 items and then be stuck.
Yep, so now we're just looking for the last stone and the soul armor. So they're just doing all the little checks. So they're all the same now. It's about who finds those last 2 items first.
You gotta love the dolphin pushing you to the other platform, but it's just kind of like this very slow push where it's like, I don't feel like I'm riding a dolphin, but the game says I'm riding a dolphin.
Yeah. Exactly. You're like, okay, whatever you say, boss.
And you go play Rebirth, Rebirth, and you're like, oh, so that's what riding a dolphin's like.
God. There's only one dolphin game that exists in my brain, and it's the one in the original. And oh no. Oh no, oh no.
Oh no, yeah. Oh boy, I love trying to tell what exactly I'm trying to jump on from this isometric angle.
Yep.
Echo is also a valid choice as well. Can't have a whole dolphin game and just be like, yeah, that dolphin doesn't count.
I'm so curious where the last stone is and where the soul armor is. Oh, AxeMan's just like, nah. Bubble armor? I don't need her. Okay, he did get the final mermaid, so could go and unlock and do that area.
Yeah, with this amount of HP, you can phase tank the water too, but it normally goes through your HP a lot quicker because you have about half as much as this.
Yeah, still though, it's like, why wouldn't you put on the bubble armor? But, you know.
I mean, it could be setting up for a death warp back too.
Yes, that's probably likely, actually. These folks know
Really?
the game way better than I do. I'm watching them do things. I'm like, wow, that's so smart. Wow, that's so good. Okay, so DentedRazor just unlocked the VIP tower, which he's got the card for, so he's going to be going in there. Axeman has already cleared that out, though.
Turbo's Grave, nice. Should be a check.
Emblem Beast, that's all the emblems, which is a check at least. It would be so funny if the emblems actually had one of the two items they need.
If that's like a turn-in for the armor, that would just be unreasonable.
Rude. Yeah, that would be rude.
We know it's not the magic bell.
Yep. It's like 10 experience.
It'll just be 0 experience. Nothing. And we're like, oh, neat.
Apparently there was a hint earlier that said the emblem reward was just XP, so we know at least it's not going to be that. I'm wondering, I can't remember if there are settings to be like, no, the emblem will not have something, or whether it could roll it there or not.
Yeah, I did try and ask them to keep it a bit.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Soul armor. So now we just need the last stone.
One more Hachi Machi item.
Yep, and then we're in go mode, and we'll have to get ready for our dancing grandmas. I'm checking. Yeah, emblem hunt is an option for a goal, but we're not. Our goal is kill Death Toll, the final boss. So
yeah, Death Troll, the truest. We got to get rid of them Twitch trolls, one Death Troll at a time.
Yeah, right. Gonna go fight the boss here because again, bosses could have our
mods. Please ban Death Troll.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please. Death. They sent me the YAML before they started, so I could check out the settings.
Which is even better because you actually know how to read it. Because if they sent me that, I'd be like, "That's cool and all, but this."
But also, what do?
yeah. I'm like, I'm seeing a bunch of letters and slashes and some semicolons and some colons. I got nothing.
Yeah.
2 gems.
Bubbers.
Yeah, they're slowly but surely getting used to the things around here. Hopefully, they won't be too noisy.
Oh yeah. So they got if they had the Thunder Ring, they could use it to blast some things in this area, but that is not at all required.
Yeah, there's a lot of like neat things that you can actually use in some of these areas that are like not even really needed in vanilla play, but they are super nice.
Yeah. Helpful they are. Required they are not. Mystic armor. Little late for that one, but thanks.
The fact that we like started with the healing armor or whatever it was really nice though, because it drastically reduced the amount of damage that we took so we could play a lot more aggressively.
Yep. Oh, the other leaf is to lure the cats. I remember that now. So you lure the cats out of the room, and so you can do things. Green stone! That is go mode for Axeman. So that last mermaid pillar was necessary. Amazing. It's like, send me back. No, send me back. I need to go fight. So everyone get ready. Get ready. It's time for dancing grandmas.
I'm very excited.
I know. Me too. I love that you must make the grandmas dance in order to win.
You know, I think even casually, like, it really didn't sink in what I was seeing. I'm just like, neat. Let me kill the boss, though. and once we, like, mentioned it, I was like, oh, yeah, that really was weird now, wasn't it?
They dance! Look at them dance! Yay!
You can dance if you want to.
I wish I could be a grandma who danced to summon Phoenix.
That was an amazing dance. I'm slightly saddened that that's the only spot where the music cut out in the game.
Oh no!
Like, the music just goes silent there for some reason. What?
Yeah. You better focus on the grandmas dancing.
I hope I can dance when I'm that old.
Yeah, right? Especially as enthusiastically as them, like, look at them go. So that I believe in vanilla gives you Phoenix, but in this one makes it so you can even access Death Toll. But now it is time to go to the Dark World. There is a last chance for some leveling up there, but honestly, I would doubt if either of our runners will do that because you don't need to. But if you're kind of looking for checks, with it being open world, it is possible for things to be there. Again, though, you need all of your stones in order to get access, and then you need the armor to be able to, not take constant damage because you're in space.
I believe in vanilla, the opening of the area is accessible, but you can't go through most of the area, so it's very heavily gated here. And because of the high requirements of the armor and weapon here, you end up usually grinding, especially at the very least for gems, to use Phoenix. Unless you go out of your way to get the Mystic Bell.
Yep. Which in vanilla, why would you? Well, in
vanilla, you might stumble across it casually, I think.
Yeah.
You'd be like, why are there so many of these? And then they'll be like, oh, we'll give you something if you have it. And if you realize, it's kind of like, I think the ABC is like by area. So I'll let you know, okay, well, I'm missing area 2's emblem. All I got to do is take a little bit of a look around.
Yeah. And space isn't evil. It's just evil. It's easier to hide there, and you can't breathe, so it does try and kill you. But
I will say
evil.
The Endgame zone's music is yet another banger, though.
There's so many bangers.
This game, the soundtrack just hits. It just hits.
So I first was introduced to playing this game when, back in, I think it was 2018, 2017, where I was part of a RPG kind of relay thing, where it was like, here, we're going to give you 6 different games, which you're going to learn the first 10 to 15 minutes of their speedruns. And one of them was Soul Blazer. And at the beginning, I was like, oh my God, this was the one I struggled with because it was so different. I'd never even played a vanilla. And I was like, I hate this game. I hate this thing. But because I was so bad, I kept practicing it, and I was like, oh no, I think I might like this. The music is really, and even the music in World 1 just got so stuck in my head.
Yeah, so, this is one of those games that has a pretty steep difficulty curve, but once you get used to it, it's a very fun game.
Okay, so we're going to final boss now. We did first form of Death Toll, and now it's final form. We have to hit him, I don't know how many times, but his head does not even become damageable until these blue flames he's bringing disappear. So we have to get rid of those and then hit Death Toll a bunch of times.
I totally forgot that first phase existed.
Well, why would you? It's so easy. Why would you remember that? Thankfully, those fires also drop gems, so you can
so we
keep casting.
Luckily, they didn't set it up so you could soft lock yourself here super easy. Just a little bit of intuitiveness. You don't get any free healing here, though, so it's your herb, and that's about it.
Yeah, just don't get hit.
Pretty much, It
couldn't be me.
These attacks are a little bit obtuse because they kind of the bending method, but once you figure out his pattern, it's fairly simple once you get used to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the levels required to even equip this final gear, you usually have a very reasonably large amount of HP. The only thing you may not have is the bracelets that reduce damage, which are very nice, but sometimes you can miss those.
Dent and Grandma's take 2, even though we don't have all the stones. I think he's just like, I got the red hot items, I'm here, let's do it. Death Toll is down, so I believe that's time.
Sounds correct. Axeman getting a nice clear here.
Nice.
Yeah, the Quintet games too kind of have they tend to seemingly have very similar looking bosses, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, there's Axeman undeafened. Welcome and GG's.
Hello, thank you. GG's.
How did that feel for you?
I felt pretty good for most of it. I thought that Dented would have had me at the end there. I felt like maybe I didn't find the last stuff, but I guess it was good enough.
No, he missed getting the red hot ball and the black stone.
Oh no!
He didn't get those.
No.
He still hasn't gotten the black stone, actually. Or there's one of the stones he's missing, and he didn't get the red hot mirror or the red hot ball until like very recently. Well, you got it very early. He had access because he had the platinum card, but I think he died or just decided not to do the tower, and he only came back when he was like,
Yeah, luckily cleared it pretty quickly because of the higher levels, but
I guess I kind of went into the earlier play to left tower, and then the basement paid off real big.
It did. He did basement as well, but he didn't do left tower, or if he did, he faded really early. So yeah, he didn't get the red hot ball until very late. So yeah, he's still looking for the last stone. And he has done Dancing Grandmas, though. He was doing that right as you were fighting Death Toll. So that's all he needs, though. No, actually, he doesn't have the soul armor either.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was in
we're short.
Bluster.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw you. We're like, and that's where both of those were, actually. So he's gone back to Dr. Leo's lab now rather than going to. I don't know if he got the last mermaid.
Okay. I forget where that statue was.
Yeah, I remember you getting it and then didn't at all remember where it was.
Okay.
A theme for this
area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I kept seeing things and then not at all retaining. There's a reason I use a tracker.
Yeah.
Okay.
I use a map tracker being like, where do I go?
I mean, to be fair, it's both of our first times commentating this randomizer, so we've been a lot of work on the feet, right?
Yeah, I know the randomizer enough from, like I say, I've finished a bunch of seeds, so I know the general progression, but I don't play any randomizer without a map tracker, so
Yeah, I could see how the map tracker would definitely facilitate this, considering checks are so widespread and just there's so many of them, it's probably very easy to lose track of that one teleporter you didn't clear.
Yeah, I do have to note, there's a way to manipulate that boss, where if you just go up and down and you don't go left and right at all, the boss will also just go up and down. So you just go up and down next to them with your sword out and just murder their face. And that's how you do it in vanilla.
If you're playing casually, you won't do that, and that thing will kill you probably 2 or 3 times.
Oh, it'll murder you over and over, but yeah, if you
there's nothing... There's nothing quite like fading away and then having him laugh at you. Mm-hmm. It plays like the fireball spitting animation, and the boss is just laughing at you on your dead corpse, and you're like, I hate everything. I'm very angry right now.
You're like, and I don't want to be here. Thanks. Yeah. So Razor using that leaf to lure the cats out because the mice won't talk to you while the cats are in the room. Then you get the cats out, and they're like, oh hey, come on into our mouse hole. You definitely fit, right? And apparently you do in fact fit.
It is very cute, some of the interactions you have with the animals here, since a lot of the humans don't really show up towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
A lot of it is just kind of showing off, hey, there is this great wide world that is more than just humans.
You're friends to everyone and everything, not just the humans.
You're friends to 3 humans. The rest of them suck.
Yeah, and the rest of them suck, and everyone else is mice and drawers and just cool people and things. It's great.
The fact that the drawers talk and the shelves and dressers talk to you always gets me. It's so cute.
Yeah.
But it's also what?
Hello? Okay, time for us to fight this boss. Let's do it.
Yeah, this airship fight, all of these bosses are pretty brutal, actually.
Yeah, I don't like any of them in general, but almost all of them have pretty good tips and tricks that make them decent. I don't know all of them, but some of them I do, and you're like, okay, that's not so bad. Also, if you have enough HP and the super bracelet and things that was just equipped, it's not so bad, because you're like, oh, my defense is up and so is my attack, and I have an herb for safety, so... There you go, easy. Just straight up gaming in here. Did it.
Yeah, I remember getting clapped on pretty much every one of the bosses in this game several times casually.
Absolutely. Even the first boss is a pain in the butt until you realize the quick kill. And if you're me, it's still a bit of a struggle to do the quick kill because there's those conveyor belts that either shoot you towards or away from the boss. So, it makes it a little bit of a struggle. If he hits you, especially at that point, he just takes like over half your health. You're just like, time to perish.
Yeah. Luckily, the armor does pretty good scaling as long as you make sure to find it. But like that's why I was like in a randomizer. I'm like, without good armor, I could just see you getting massacred very easily.
Yeah.
But both Axeman and Razor have showed that armor is not everything. As a matter of fact, I've seen them de-equip it several times for what seems to be no reason. But
it may be Death Warp.
Okay, I thought you were doing a couple of death warps there because it looked like there was some areas where you were definitely tanking damage intentionally to death warp back to town or something. Because I know that's pretty much the one like use you'd run into for that. At least that I know of. Oh, that's funny. DentedRazor talks to the soldier, responds to the snail, and then the soldier spawns underneath it.
Okay, so he doesn't have the Blester statue.
No. Do you remember where you got that?
I don't remember. It was the last one that I got. I remember getting all the other statues first.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, he's checking all the things he's not sure.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's the worst part of a randomizer when you're like, I know it's here somewhere, but where?
Yeah, this is honestly part of the reason why when DentedRazor mentioned making it a race, I was like, that's probably a very good idea, especially with something this early into its infancy, so that we don't end up getting. There's a very good chance that somebody completes it, so we don't end up with somebody stalled out. Because it is very rough to be stuck in this in a live setting. You're just like, oh, cool! I am literally walking in circles, and I hate this.
Yeah.
Just kind of poking around here to see if we can figure out what we've forgotten.
Yeah,
and it is definitely very hard to remember in situations like this.
Yeah, he's running through everything, being like, what was the thing I forgot?
Oh, man.
It's always just
Has he cleared, like, all the other areas?
Most of them. Again, I don't know if there's any specific little checks he's missed.
Oh.
I think it's just that one stone that he's short, unfortunately. Pretty much every area he has full cleared. I don't think I've seen him tank a death and bounce. I think it may just be an errant check that he missed, unfortunately.
Yeah, and again, we know both the stone and the armor are in the same place. He just needs to get that Blester check. The Blester Mermaid.
Yeah, the internal checks can be quite frustrating, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I saw the
Hey, Dented
statue appearing.
Oh,
what's going on, man?
Yeah, I think I got a forfeit on this one.
Okay.
Yeah. We're even talking because we know the stuff you're missing is in the same place. We just don't remember where the unlock for that was.
Yeah,
no worries.
It's in Blester.
Oh, I figured.
Yeah, and we're just like, I remember seeing the Blester statue being unlocked. I don't remember where it was.
Yeah.
So we couldn't even tell you where to go to do it. We're just like, nope. You did really well otherwise.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much.
Better than I did. It's a really good showcase of how this can be, because all it takes is one forgotten check.
Absolutely.
And then you're just like, what did I do?
Well, and especially because it's a whole stone and the soul armor both in the same area. Like, that's huge.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're both there.
Just 2 steps out of the way and you'd have gotten it. Dang it.
Yep.
That's all good stuff there. I'm glad we got to show this. It's such a fun randomizer.
Yeah. How'd you feel about the seed otherwise?
This was one of the wildest seeds I've had, just in terms of like having to turn over every single stone. It's just such a robust one.
Yeah, it definitely looked like you guys had to go pretty much everywhere to do anything.
Oh yeah.
They definitely went on the ruder side, which is impressive because Soul Blazer.
Yeah, every time we seem to have a randomizer on here, the game just gets a hair. It's just like, no, we're not doing this.
Oh, it knows. They always know.
I'll blame it on Paildim. He rolled the seed, so.
That's right, yeah.
But
Shots fired, shots fired.
And free... No, I'm joking.
Well, thank you for the showcase, and hopefully we will find a way to wedge in that out of bounds category you were talking about showing off in the near future.
That's right, yeah.
It definitely. When I was looking at it, I was like, "This would be a nice, fun thing," but we'll have to figure out what else to pair it with because that's pretty short, right?
Yeah, I think right now my PB is 35 minutes. So.
Oh, we're gonna have to find something else then.
I was gonna say the salty run back. Do that first, followed by the salty run back.
We'll just have to have. We'll make somebody else roll the seed and see if it can be any worse.
No, we want if Paildim, who is also claiming in chat, rolls the worst seeds, which I have done for other games. No, we want them to roll it again.
Okay. Maybe we'll have the run back. Yeah, we'll get to that in the near future, but we actually have another show coming up in a little bit that we're trying to pre-prep. So if anybody's interested in Persona, we will have that. But this will be it for Soul Blazer right now. I don't want to leave you guys without a chance to say anything, but DentedRazor, Axeman, either of you have anything you want to say before we start heading on out and get ready for that?
Thanks for having us. And yeah, we have all our the Rando Blazer. If you go to randoblazer.com, we've got the Soul Blazer randomizer, and we got links to our Discord, and definitely a lot of people who will help you out in case you get lost, which apparently can happen. So yeah,
even to the best.
That's right.
This was my first randomizer. It's such a fun one to get into. And like Axeman said, the community is so supportive, just really wanting to help everyone get into it. So it's a great time.
Yeah, and I can confirm as someone who got into this after not having finished vanilla, it's fine. Just go play. It's super fun.
Yeah. Thank you, Netara, for joining me and helping guide this blind, lost old man.
No, you did awesome. We helped each other. It was a teamwork.
I spent half my time trying to gaslight the audience into something that wasn't true, so...
That's the whole fun.
I'll be back in a little bit for this Persona 5, but where I'm going to actually have my better half, that is the content team lead, who is a big fan of Persona. But until then, if you guys aren't big fans of Persona, maybe give it a shot. If not, see you next time.
Yeah.